What if the person who gave you life was also the one holding you captive? Imagine growing up in a golden cage, a life that looks perfect from the outside, but feels like a suffocating prison on the inside. The house is beautiful, the achievements impressive, the stories polished. Everyone says you are lucky. Yet somewhere deep in your chest, something whispers, this is not freedom. For years you may have believed your life was idyllic, a testament to a so-called perfect parent. Maybe they were admired in the community, praised by teachers, adored by relatives. From a distance, it all looked enviable. But up close, something was off. You were not being raised, you were being arranged, positioned like a trophy on a shelf you never chose. Alan Watts often spoke about how we confuse the menu with the meal, the symbol with the reality. The golden cage of a narcissistic parent is exactly that confusion. On the surface, there is success, order, respectability. Underneath, there is control, fear, and a slow erosion of who you really are. The performance becomes more important than the person. Their image becomes more important than your inner life. Let us start with the illusion of the perfect home. In families like this, appearances are everything. The message is clear, even if it is never spoken aloud. Do not embarrass us. Do not make a scene. Make us proud. Make us look good. The rules are simple: perform, please, and do not question. You learn early that your value is measured in grades, behavior, looks, and how well you reflect back their brilliance. If you win an award, they shine. If you make a mistake, you become a problem to be fixed, not a person to be held. You are praised when you fit the script and punished, subtly or loudly when you do not. On the outside, your home might look peaceful and prosperous. Inside, it feels like walking on glass. The floor is beautiful, but you bleed with every step. Emotional starvation hides in plain sight. Your basic needs may be met: food, clothes, school, even extras. But your emotional needs, to be heard, comforted, and taken seriously, are quietly dismissed. You hear things like, others have it worse, stop being dramatic. You should be grateful. Alan Watts pointed out that society loves roles: parent, child, success story, good family. The problem comes when people start believing they are only the role and forget the living, breathing being underneath. A narcissistic parent clings to the role of perfect parent so tightly that your real feelings become an inconvenience. Their story matters more than your reality. To see the golden cage clearly, you have to recognize the bars. One of the first bars is the shifting goalpost. No matter what you do, it is never quite enough. You bring home good grades, they ask why they are not perfect. You are quiet, they say you are cold. You are expressive, they say you are too much. The standard is not designed to be met. It is designed to keep you chasing. Another bar is gaslighting, the slow war on your perception of reality. You remember a cruel comment, they say you are imagining it. You recall an argument, they insist it never happened like that. You try to talk about your hurt, they say you are oversensitive, confused, or ungrateful. Over time, you start doubting your own eyes, ears, and feelings. You learn to trust their story instead of your experience. Then there is the cycle of love bombing and devaluation. On some days, they shower you with attention, gifts, affection. You feel special, finally seen. On other days, they withdraw, criticize, ignore, or belittle you. You feel desperate to get back to the warm phase, so you work harder to please them. The same person becomes both the source of comfort and the source of pain, and that contradiction keeps you hooked. Alan Watts observed that many people live as if they were actors who forgot they are acting. A narcissistic parent is deeply invested in their role: the caring mother, the devoted father, the long-suffering provider. You are given a role too: the golden child, the scapegoat, the caretaker, the quiet one. The tragedy is that the more you play your assigned part, the further you drift from your spontaneous, authentic self. At some point, though, a crack appears in the cage. Maybe it comes as exhaustion. Maybe it comes as a panic attack that makes no sense on paper. Maybe it comes as a moment when someone else's family feels strangely safe and you realize yours never did. Beneath the fear and confusion, a tiny whisper starts repeating, "This is not right. This is not love." That whisper is the beginning of self-worth. It is not loud. It does not argue. It simply refuses to disappear. You notice how your body tightens before you see their name on your phone. You notice how you rehearse every conversation in advance, how you shrink your opinions, how you apologize for existing. You begin to ask, what if my feelings are not the enemy? What if they are the compass? Trusting that compass can feel like betrayal. For years you were trained to treat their version of events as the only truth. To turn toward your own intuition is to step outside their script. Alan Watts would say that freedom begins when you see the game you have been playing without knowing it. Once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. The first steps out of the golden cage are often quiet and invisible. You might start by sharing less of your inner world with them. You answer, but more briefly. You visit, but stay aware of your limits. You experiment with small boundaries like saying, "I cannot talk about that today," or "I need to go now." On the outside, little seems to change. On the inside, something huge is happening. You are beginning to occupy your own life. Then comes the power of no. The first real no can feel like an earthquake. No, I will not lie for you. No, I cannot drop everything to fix your crisis. No, I am not responsible for your feelings. The guilt can be overwhelming, as if you are tearing down the entire family with one syllable. But that no is not an attack. It is a declaration that your time, energy, and soul are not endless resources to be mined. Alan Watts frequently reminded people that you are under no obligation to be what others expect of you. You are not a role. You are a process, a living, changing expression of life itself. When you say no to manipulation, you are saying yes to that deeper, truer life that has been waiting underneath the costume. Escaping the golden cage is not just about leaving a person or a house. It is also about building your own sanctuary. That sanctuary can start very small, a room that feels safe, a journal that hears you, a walk where you can breathe at your own pace. It can grow into friendships where you do not have to perform, communities where your story is believed without cross-examination, spaces where you can laugh, cry, and be messy without penalty. Finding a chosen family is part of this. These are the people who treat you as a subject, not an object. They listen without twisting your words. They care about how you feel, not just how you appear. With them, you are not the golden child or the problem child. You are simply yourself, exploring who that even is. As you heal, your definition of success begins to shift. Success used to mean impressing the narcissistic parent, keeping them calm, making them proud, proving your worth to them and to the world. Now success starts to look like waking up with less dread. It looks like saying what you mean without shaking. It looks like going to sleep knowing you did not abandon yourself today. Alan Watts talked often about the trap of always trying to become something, always striving to be worthy in the eyes of others. He suggested that true peace comes when you realize you already are what you are trying so hard to deserve. You are not a defective project to be fixed. You are an expression of life, as valid as any other. The more you take that in, the less urgent external approval becomes. A huge part of escaping the golden cage is healing the inner child who still lives inside you. That child learned to scan every room, to anticipate moods, to please and placate. That child learned to stay quiet to avoid explosions, or to act out because being blamed felt safer than being invisible. Healing means turning toward that younger self with the care you never received. It means saying, "I believe you. It was not your fault. You deserved better. This reparenting can be gentle and practical. You feed yourself when you are hungry instead of pushing through. You rest when you are tired instead of shaming yourself. You allow yourself to feel sad, angry, or afraid without adding the story that you are weak. Slowly, your nervous system begins to learn that life does not have to be an endless performance review. Thriving beyond the cage also means facing guilt and fear head-on. You might feel selfish for setting boundaries, cruel for stepping back, or disloyal for telling the truth about what happened. Remember that this guilt was installed by the system to keep you in place. Feeling guilty does not mean you are doing something wrong. It means you are doing something new. Fear will arise too. Fear of being alone, fear of being wrong, fear of becoming like them. Instead of letting that fear control you, you can meet it with curiosity. What is this fear protecting? What would I do if I trusted myself a little more right now? In time, your courage grows not as the absence of fear, but as the decision to move with it rather than obey it. The journey of self-discovery after a narcissistic parent is ongoing. For a while, you may feel like you do not know who you are without their voice in your head. That is okay. Identity built in captivity will feel strange in open air. Give yourself permission to experiment, to try things, to fail, to change your mind. You are allowed to explore what you enjoy, what you believe, and how you want to live, even if it would horrify the old family script. Alan Watts compared life to music and dance. The point is not to reach a final note as efficiently as possible. The point is to play, to move, to experience. When you stop living as a project designed to please a narcissistic parent, you can start living like music. You can make choices based on curiosity instead of fear, on truth instead of image. Over time, something beautiful happens. The cage that once defined you becomes part of your story, but not the end of it. You can talk about what happened without collapsing into it. You can see the narcissistic parent with clearer eyes, not as an all-powerful figure, but as a deeply wounded person who tried to use you as a mirror. You can hold compassion without sacrificing your safety. You may even find that your experience becomes a light for others, still trapped in their own golden cages. When you speak honestly, someone else hears their own unspoken pain. When you choose a boundary, someone else realizes they can choose one too. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a living reminder that freedom is possible. In the end, escaping the golden cage of a narcissistic parent is not about winning against them. It is about stepping out of the entire game of proving your worth through their eyes. It is about discovering that underneath the roles, the guilt, the fear, and the conditioning, there is a self that was never actually owned by anyone. That self is not an object, not a trophy, not a character in someone else's drama. That self is the one who is aware of the entire story, the part of you that has been watching, feeling, yearning for something real. When you begin to live from that awareness, the bars of the cage start to lose their power, even if they still exist in memory. So take a breath. Look gently at the life that was handed to you, the roles you were forced to play, the love you had to earn. And then look at the life that is still available, the one where you are allowed to be honest, imperfect, alive. The golden cage may have shaped you, but it does not have to define you. You can step beyond it, again and again, into a freedom that is not given by any parent, but discovered in the quiet truth of who you already are. Freedom in this sense is not a single dramatic escape. It is a series of small, faithful choices. You choose to believe your memories. You choose to honor your limits. You choose to speak kindly to yourself when the old voice calls you selfish or ungrateful. None of these choices are flashy, yet together they bend the shape of your life away from captivity and toward authenticity. If you are still in the cage, or standing just outside it, know this: you are not broken. You are waking up at exactly the moment you are able to bear the truth. Let yourself grieve what you wished your parent could have been. And then, Gently, turn your attention to the one person you can actually rescue. The person listening right now. You owe no one a perfect story. You owe no one a perfectly composed explanation of why you had to leave, or why you had to step back, or why you finally chose yourself. Your life is a real path. Your healing counts. With every honest step, you are proving something far more important than your innocence. You are proving to yourself that you were always worth more than any golden cage.